What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Bad Diggity Diesel, back with another New York Giants video. Hey, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do me the honor. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure to ring the bell so you get a notification every time I go live or do a video like this. I really do appreciate you watching. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links in the description. I will follow you back. Joe Judge. I know people are looking at the title of the video and saying, Baddog, how the hell can a guy who's coaching a team that's 4-7 be considered for Coach of the Year? And you guys know me. I'm very unbiased. I'm very critical of the New York Giants. I have no problem calling them out for poor play or poor performance or anything like that. I get that. Maybe I am thinking a little bit with my heart. I'm not going to lie. But if you think about everything that's gone into this season and what Joe Judge had to start with to begin with, okay, number one, their left tackle held out immediately. They had a couple holdouts. You know, they had Sam Beal held out, Nate Solder held out, and of course, we had the whole DeAndre Baker fiasco. I mean, what a situation for Joe Judge to come into. On top of that, he came in, coaching a team that had won 12 games in the last 3 seasons. I mean, it hasn't been very good at all. You know, he took over a team with a second-year quarterback, took over a team, with an offensive line that had 3 rookies drafted this season. You know, he took over a team that had their second-round pick break his foot. They had no OTAs. They had no mini camps. I know none of these teams had this. But this is a rookie head coach, a 38-year head coach that came into just a terrible situation with the New York Giants. And let's face it, they started off really bad. I mean, we started off 1-7. And people could say, yeah, that's just terrible. But the fact of the matter is, the New York Giants were huge underdogs in all these games because they were playing teams with superior talent. The fact that the New York Giants even competed against these teams spoke volumes, not just to me, but to all Giants fans who love Joe Judge, and that's the reason why. I mean, let's face it. I know there's no ifs in football, but let's face it. The Giants are a play here, a call here, another play here, away from being 7-4. And not 4-7. I mean, they've been in all of these games, except for the game at San Francisco. Now, Pittsburgh ended up pulling away from us. Pittsburgh's 10-0. I mean, we were right with that team through 3 quarters. The Bears falling off. They're no good. We dominated the second, half in that game. And then, of course, the Rams game, I mean, pretty much it was one blown coverage that cost us the game there. Beat Washington. Could have beat Dallas, probably should have beat Dallas, probably should have beat Philadelphia. And again, those were 2 wins that we should have had right there. And then, of course, Tampa Bay, we just missed a lot of throws and didn't execute. I mean, that's on us. But if the Giants do execute those plays, like I said, we're 7-4. You got to look at the entire picture. Joe Judge has just done a phenomenal job, and I think that this team is starting to get better because of his leadership, because of his technique. The media, they're never going to consider him for Coach of the Year because the media hates Joe Judge. The media criticized him immediately because he's an old school coach, because he makes these guys run laps, because he's disciplinarian, because he wants this team to execute, not make mistakes. Now, they had made a lot of mistakes. They made a lot of mistakes against Cincinnati last week. Just because you're a disciplinarian doesn't mean the team's not going to commit mistakes. But the Giants have been pretty penalty, light this year. They haven't committed a ton of penalties. And again, Pat Shurmur's teams are getting blown out. It wasn't really close. The team takes on the persona of its head coach. Joe Judge is a fighter. Joe Judge is tough. Joe Judge has a rough edge to him. Joe Judge is my spirit animal. I mean, let's face it. And that's what this team is. This team is a hard-working, blue-collar, punch-you-in-the-nose for 60 minutes team. They scrap, they claw, they fight their way into every single game. And although our record is no good, right now, we sit at the top of the NFC East. Now, I'm recording this the night before, so I don't know what's going on. Seattle's up 17-9, so by the time this video comes out, the Eagles could have won the game and we'd be in second place. But while I'm recording this, we're in first place, at least a tie for first place. And even if the Eagles do win, we're a half game out of first. And we beat the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time in 4 years under Joe Judge's tutelage. Daniel Jones is starting to get better. The offensive line is starting to come to fruition. And the defensive players have been fantastic. Now, a lot of that has to do with Patrick Graham. But Joe Judge is, like I said, all these guys are under his umbrella. He's let them do their own thing outside of Mark Colombo, which he had to fire because the offensive line was garbage. I mean, every Giants fan saw how bad the offensive line was, including Andrew Thomas, who I, on a weekly basis, sat there and ripped because he was so bad. And I loved Andrew Thomas coming out of Georgia. I'm like, where is this guy? Why is he so bad? Then once Joe Judge started to get involved, Colombo didn't like it. And Colombo had something to say, and Joe Judge said, we don't need you. And they don't need him. You saw how well the offensive line performed, this week against Cincinnati. Daniel Jones was not sacked one time. So the offensive line continues to get better. The team continues to get better. And like I said, the team fights every week. Now, we don't know the status of Daniel Jones going into Seattle. But the Giants, 4-7, sit at the top of the division. What they need, what this team needs, is a signature win. That could come in the next 4 games. You got very tough 4 games here coming up with Seattle, Arizona, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Not in that particular, maybe it is in that particular order. And then, of course, we finish the year with Dallas. Right now, our signature win is against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are not a good team. And we beat Washington twice. They're not a good team either, let's face it. And then, of course, we beat Cincinnati, who's not a good team with Joe Burrow, and we beat them with Brandon Allen. So it's not like the Giants have had a signature win. I think if Joe Judge can get a couple of those, I think if Joe Judge finds a way to get this team to 7-9 or 8-8 and win this division, and 8-8 that's far-fetched. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest, especially if Daniel Jones has to miss a couple of games. It's really far-fetched. But I just love the way the team's playing. I love the way the team has improved. This team is competitive week in and week out. This team fights very hard. This team is a lot better than people thought it would be. The media pundits say how the Giants 2-14, 3-13, not going to compete. They're going to be dead last. They had them ranked 31st in PFF. Some people had them ranked dead last. Power rankings wise, we were just overlooked. We were nothing. And everybody hated the Joe Judge hiring. Everybody hated the way he coached. Everybody hated that hard-nosed mentality. All they did was hate on him. They still hate on him, right? And all Joe Judge is doing is making believers out of the fan base. I guess that's really all that matters. But he needs us. What is going to make believers out of the rest of the people out there? And there's, I know there's a lot of video makers or, guys that comment on my channel that are Eagle fans or they're Cowboys fans, and they're saying, hey, you guys got the best coach in this division. You guys got the best coach in this division. Cowboy fans tell me, I wish that we got Joe Judge and not Mike McCarthy. Eagles fans tell me, I wish we had Joe Judge and not Doug Peterson. So the NFC East is starting to take notice about the way the Giants have been playing better, but it's going to take a win against a Seattle or a Baltimore or an Arizona for the Giants to actually get some notoriety, for Joe Judge to get some credit, in my opinion. Now, I'm watching this game against Philadelphia. Seattle does not impress me. They really don't. Arizona, I'm worried about Kyler Murray, but their defense does not scare me at all. They've fallen on hard times. Baltimore has looked very human over the last couple of games, and they're a mess with this whole sickness, this whole virus going around. So listen, while the Giants aren't probable to win these games, it's definitely possible that they can win these games. A couple of signature wins, a division title. I don't care what the record is. Joe Judge has to be considered for Coach of the Year, especially if they can get to 500, because look at all the other teams that are really good. You expected them to be good. You expected Kansas City to be good. You expected Pittsburgh to be good. You expected Green Bay to be good. You expect the Rams to be good. You expect the Seahawks to be good. You expect the Saints to be good. You expect those teams to be good. Maybe Flores in Miami's got a very good shot at it. Maybe the Bills coach, I can't remember if that's McDermott or not, my bad. Maybe he's got a shot at it too. Those are definitely good options. But I don't care. Maybe this is one of the few times that I come on here and I'm thinking with my heart, not my head. Maybe I am a little biased toward Joe Judge. And maybe the reason is because I've seen how poor the New York Giants product has been from 2017 to 2019. And although our record really doesn't indicate it, if you watch this team every week, you can see them getting better. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see this team believes in Joe Judge. You can see this team get better every week in the future. Looks really good for this team. Couple signature wins, man. New York Giants get those signature wins, win the division. He's got to have some consideration. He ain't going to win it, but he should be considered for it. So all I got in this video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I'm out. Peace!